5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is Deducter bringing you set 2 of KT vs Airforce Ace, playing the Pro League matchup. Airforce Ace up 1-0 due to genius play by Peace in the last game. Zerg vs Zerg, making Hoja look quite the fool, almost amateur-esque. But this is the matchup of the ages. At least, when KT plays Airforce Ace. Flash here, drinking his water, against Firebathero. Flash as the red Terran in the 7 o'clock position, and Firebathero as the orange player in the 5 o'clock position on Beltway. And Flash vs Firebathero. Firebathero in his prime was one of the best TVT players of all time. Of all time, maybe that's a dangerous statement, but in his prime he was a very good TVT player, could take on any Terrans. In fact, he and Flash played one of the greatest games of all times, and Flash said it was the greatest game he's ever played, which was him versus Firebathero on that 3-player map. I think it was Medusa. I could be wrong about that. This was some time ago, but Flash somehow won that game by hook or crook. Firebathero even went for battle cruisers, but it did not avail him in the end. So here's hoping for an exciting game. The thing is, I'm not sure Firebathero really can go toe-to-toe with Flash in one of these late-game situations anymore. Being on the Air Force, of course, he does not have time to practice these long games, these long macro games, and so I'm not sure what Firebathero's plan is here. He might be trying to go for some sort of faster push to end this. Firebathero just putting his barracks out in front a bit so he can build Marines to scout with, I guess, or lift it. So nothing particularly unusual coming from either player. Flash just putting down his barracks in his main, so neither player going for any sort of 14cc action here. But yeah, this will be interesting to watch. I'm not sure Firebathero, again, can take on Flash in the late game. So I imagine, hopefully, he's got some clever strategy here to do something nice in the early game. Just like last game with Peace versus Hoja there. However, Flash is no Hoja, and you're not going to be able to confuse Flash even with a clever play like that. He's going to be able to recover, and he's going to be able to improvise and counter your efforts usually. Flash putting down his command center expansion here. Firebathero, he got his refinery early, so he's probably going factory into expansion. That's what I imagine he's going to do. Alternatively, he might go crazy and do a 2-factory push. He's only putting 1 SCV on gas, as you can see there, so it looks like factory into expansion. So Flash is going to have a bit of an economic lead. Firebathero scouting Flash, scouting the correct direction. Flash actually not scouting at all this game. So that, I think, is a bit of a mistake. Whenever Flash doesn't scout, I feel that's dangerous. It's almost like he disdains his opponent when he doesn't scout. He's like, oh, I'm so much better than you. I don't need to know what you're doing. I can do anything and destroy you. But that's not the case, Flash. Firebathero sending out a Marine. It's going to annoy Flash a little, but I doubt Flash is going to be too bothered. He's got a bunker building. Here we have, let's see how good Firebathero's Marine micro is. Ooh, he's managed to get a first shot off on Flash's Marine there. But Flash now with 2 Marines. Firebathero is going to be forced to retreat, and the bunker is going to be finished soon, so any sort of attack from Firebathero is not going to work out. Firebathero indeed looks like he's going for factory into expansion. I'm not sure about this. Firebathero, you cannot face Flash with an economic deficit. I guess he doesn't really have too much of a choice at this point. We'll see how good his defense is when Flash decides to apply the pressure. Firebathero with a Vulture out, it's going to be able to kill this scouting SCV by Flash, of Flash's rather, and that's good, keeping Flash in the dark. So Flash actually has no idea what Firebathero went for, except it wasn't a 14cc, probably, he would imagine, due to the fact that the Marine came on a bit early. But he doesn't know what else Firebathero is doing. For all he knows, Firebathero could be putting down 3 starports right now and going insane. Flashing the economy, he really wants to know what's going on, so it looks like he wants to get scanned early. Good move there. You don't want to be caught by surprise. It looks like Firebathero with this barracks is going to scout out everything that Flash is doing in his main. He wants to see the critical tech buildings, so he should be able to see the starport as long as he doesn't back the barracks up. Flash with 2 Marines picking away at that barracks. I actually think that barracks is probably going to go down it's hard to say. Oh, okay, Firebat Hero is not sort of scouting the entire base. He's going to move the barracks over one of these cliffs, probably, so the barracks should live. But he doesn't see the starport. A bit disappointing. Firebat Hero getting his armory there. I don't think Flash has gotten his armory yet. Firebat Hero just with a Vulture out here. I don't see his machine shop spinning. I'm not sure whether the Vulture has mines. No, it does not have mines. That's a little weird. He should research either siege or mine ASAP. Both techs are critical, of course, for in these TVTs. Well, it depends, but mines, put a few mines around the map. Yeah, Flash is going to have a bit of a trouble advancing. He's going to have to be very cautious, and Siege Tech, of course, would allow him to hold his base against any sort of pressure coming from Flash. Flash really wants to kill this barracks, sending these two Marines after it. I don't know, he might be getting a Wraith, which is what Terran do a lot these days, and the Wraith will be able to finish off the barracks. Firebat Hero going up to 3 factories. He's killing the tempo in the back of his base on Beltway. Of course, on Beltway, there's a cliff over your natural expansion. If you are not careful, there may be some sort of drop, and this is particularly devastating with a siege tank drop, for instance, on the back of your base, or rather on the cliff overlooking the natural. 2 tanks there, they can siege up and do some serious damage if you don't clear out the tempo. Or, alternatively, have something in position to defend. It looks like Flash is going to do this exact thing with a dropship and 2 tanks in there, but Firebat Hero is not going to be caught off guard, I feel. He's killed the tempo, so I don't think Flash is going to mind too much. Flash sieging up 2 of his tanks. Firebat Hero with SCVs here to take on these siege tanks, kind of comical. A Firebat Hero with Goliaths to ward away this dropship. Flash with good dropship micro. These siege tanks are doing some damage to the SCVs. I don't think Firebat Hero is going to mind too much. It looks like 2 kills on that siege tank, so not any sort of critical damage. However, Firebat Hero is behind in economy, and Firebat Hero cleverly repairing his barracks there. So Firebat Hero behind in economy, Flash with 3 factories of his own. He can't really afford to suffer too many more of these economic hits. Flash taking a clear economic lead at this point. Now Flash setting up his siege tanks in the front, or rather in the middle of the between his base and Firebat Hero's base, just going to be a bit defensive, but there are no supporting units there. Firebat Hero, I think, scanned those tanks. He's elected not to go for the attack. Probably wants to build a few vultures first and then lay mines all around these tanks. That's sort of a problem there. 4 unescorted tanks like that, very vulnerable to vulture play. However, it does not look like Firebat Hero does have any vultures, so looks like I may have been a bit premature in my judgment there. Flash with a lot of tanks. He's really focusing on the tanks here, but few support units. I'm not sure whether this is wise or not. Firebat Hero needs to be careful with his secondary force, though. If he moves that out, he may get caught in the crossfire there, or rather in by Flash's siege tank fire. Firebat Hero trying to flank and try to get some sort of position over Flash's natural, but not able to do so with his expeditionary force there. Is forced to turn back. Looks like Firebat Hero may be trying to flank Flash's tanks outside, while Flash is taking the middle area. Or it looks like he's just keeping his army sort of moving and mobile in the middle, so Flash doesn't quite know what's going on. I think that's a pretty good move by Firebat Hero. Keep your army hidden a bit. This is most effective with a mobile army, a Zerg type army. I don't know, if Terran mech armies are so slow that this may not necessarily be the best choice. Firebat Hero losing 2 Goliaths there needlessly to these siege tanks, and he can't really afford to bleed these troops. Flash is just going to get an overwhelming economic, not overwhelming economic advantage, overwhelming military advantage in terms of units, and crush Firebat Hero with 1 decisive attack. Perhaps Flash with a big, massive force of tank, and Firebat Hero only 4 tanks up here in the north trying to defend against this. I don't think it's going to work. Flash is going to be able to clean up these units of Firebat Heroes. Firebat Hero needs to get some sort of defense in line, but it does not appear he has a second wave of units. I don't know what his macro, or rather what he's been doing with his time in his base macroing. He's put down his third expansion, but it seems like he barely has any units. Flash going to come in here and mop up the remainder of Firebathero forces in the middle, and I think this is serious problem now for Firebathero. He's in desperate trouble here. He has so few units. He needs to be able to hold out. Flash with a nice combined armed force of tanks, vultures. These vultures are going to be critical, laying mines, absorbing hits, all sorts of havoc they can cause. And look at that, Flash just with 8 tanks against Firebathero's puny 2 and 2 Goliaths. Firebathero is letting his army be destroyed in detail here, and this is not, sadly, the Firebathero in his prime. You know, it's almost expected. Flash looks like he's advancing in the south here, and he's going to clear up Firebathero's blockade without much trouble, and then he's going to get positioned over the natural, and it'll be GG. Firebathero may yet be able to hold out for a little bit. He's putting down 2 more factories, might be getting his vultures and spire mines. He'll be able to hold out, I feel, but I think Flash has like a 95% chance of winning this game. Knowing Flash, it's like 100% chance, really. Firebathero just does not have enough units to deal with Flash. I suspect the lack of practice time has made his macro. It seems his macro is significantly worse. I know he suffered an economic disadvantage, but this still seems kind of bad. So GG coming soon from Firebathero, I would imagine. No ceremony today, unfortunately. Flash taking another win, adding another feather to his cap. Firebathero still playing this game, but doesn't really matter what he does at this point. Valiant though his efforts may be, he's got 2 tanks, whereas Flash is barreling down with close to a dozen. So there's not much you can do at that point. Firebathero bringing all his SCVs out to fight. Almost comical at this point. Flash sieging up his tanks, willing to use splash damage to kill the SCVs from his siege tanks and losing his own tanks in the process. He just doesn't care at this point. He's won. At this point, you know, I wouldn't mind if Flash did something BM like build command center, although I never see him BM really. GG coming from Firebathero. Rather disappointing game, unfortunately. Firebathero simply not up to the task of facing Flash here. Flash doesn't look too happy about this either. Well, he looks a little happy, but you know, he knows it's not the most impressive win. Anyway, going on to set 3.